All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, anybody that is a football fanatic here, we are now officially live here at JP Football Fanatics, here ready to give you all my Week 15 picks for this coming week on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. tonight. Thank you so much for everybody for tuning in. We have one person that's in right now. I know we'll have some people and as we proceed forward with this, but just thank you so much for tuning in. It really means a lot. I really enjoy doing these every single week. We're gonna see how this works. How to it on Thursday night tonight instead of doing it on typically a Wednesday night where I usually do it. After I'm done with Bible study, I usually do it on Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock. But I decided to do it on a Thursday night just to see how it'll work out a little bit. I think it'll work out a little bit better than it does normally on Wednesday night. So I'm just testing it for this week just to see how it goes and everything. And, hopefully all will work out good. And I'm going to try and get all this done before Thursday night football begins. But I definitely wanted to get it done before then. So if you have not done so already, please just be sure to also drop a like on this video, leave a comment down below. I know you guys like to see all the content that goes through. I've heard a lot of good compliments about the podcast in the past, so I want to keep trying to grow it. I want to try to keep it so that way people can keep watching it and people keep listening in and everything. So, any kind of other content that you want me to cover in during those time frames, just let me know. I mean, I'm open for ideas. I'm open for content ideas. I'm open for open suggestions, possibly maybe other podcasts, maybe coinciding other ideas with other people too, like maybe trying to do like a double podcast with somebody on the air as well. That could definitely be something to do for the future. So drop a like, leave a comment down below, and if you have not done so already as well, I like to try to hit as many subscribers as I possibly can. So if you can hit those subscribers as well, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so that way you guys are in tune every single time of when I'm going live. So that way, you guys can tune in when I go live or when I have new content that's being put out there. You guys will be the first ones to be, tuned in as far as when that does go. So do all those things, like hit the comment button, subscribe. All will be good if you do all those things. So thank you so much. Really means a lot. So we will get into the picks right now. As soon as I just pull up something really quick here too. Because so that way I have some idea of what I'm talking about a little bit tonight. So that way I have some notes and some important information to talk about while going live tonight. So that will all be good. All right, so let's talk about tonight's game, Thursday Night Football. The San Francisco 49ers at the Seattle Seahawks. So the 49ers are 3.5-point favorites here. I have to say I am not liking the way Seattle is playing as of late. Not because of what they're doing offensively. It's not any reason because of Geno Smith. I think Geno Smith is having a fine season in his own right. I think he's proving everybody wrong, including myself, and he's playing phenomenal. I think he's having a great year. It's not because of him. It's not because of the offense. It's not because of, not totally all on coaching staff, but the reasons why I just dropped my phone here. Sorry. The reason why they're not playing well, why I'm not completely sold on them like I was, in previous weeks, is because of that defense. This defense is so easy to predict. This defense is just so easy to figure out and see what they're doing. It's so easy to run all over them, and it's causing a lot of problems. I mean, for Seattle, they just can't stop the run for the life of them. And if you're San Francisco, who has a complete team going on right now, you've got Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. He's going to be making some big plays. That's a problem. That this definitely will open up a big game for McCaffrey tonight. This will definitely show another field day for Purdy. He's had some really good games since he's taken over the helm over Jimmy Garoppolo's injury. He's been doing really well as being the commander-in-chief. And, with this offense that's going on right now, as far as Deebo Samuel goes, I believe he's going to be out for this game. I think I did hear something about, I think it was a torn MCL or ankle sprain injury, whatever it was. that I heard in previous weeks. I believe he is out for this game, and he is, so that's good. So that is an injury right there. So, but Purdy was cleared to play for tonight. He does have an oblique injury, so that is something to kind of keep in mind a little bit with that. But I think he'll be fine nonetheless. I think this will be a good game for him to showcase with what he can be able to do, and he'll be able to do that just fine with the Seattle, against the Seattle defense that's really struggling right now. Then you got the other side of the ball for the Niners. That's one of the best units in the NFL right now, the defense. The defense is also a big story for their success this year. So it's a divisional game. I know Seattle's had the best of the 49ers in recent times, but I think the 49ers are just the most complete team right now. They're the best coached team right now, and not just this division, but in the NFL as well. I think they're the most complete team that can go out there and just about beat anybody, really. I mean, what more can I really say about the 49ers? They're just a very well complete team. They could pass the ball if they wanted to. They could run the ball very easily. They also can stop people on defense. They play really good in man coverage. They do a really good job with pass rush. They can stop the run. They can do, there's a lot of things the Niners can do. There's not many weaknesses in this Niners team. The only thing that was really keeping them back was the quarterback position, but I think they're finding out that Purdy might be their guy moving forward. So I'm going with the 49ers. I'll take them to cover the spread. As much as I would like to pick the Seattle Seahawks, as much as I would like to see the Seahawks continue to find ways to win in dramatic fashion and everything, I just cannot trust that defense. I really can't. They're getting worse and worse by the day, even with running the ball too, and knowing that, the fact of the matter that any team can really run all over them like they did the last couple of weeks. I know the Raiders ran all over them with Jacobs, you know, um, and other teams have been doing that as well. The Rams have almost came back to beat them, you know what I mean? And then, then you struggled last week with the Panthers and their run game, that really truly means that anybody can really beat you. And that's exactly what the Niners can do. I think the Niners are able to do that. So I'll take San Fran. I'll take them to cover the spread. I think they're just a very good team. They could be poised for a Super Bowl run here. So that's what I'm doing with that. All right, next game we've got the Indianapolis Colts at the Minnesota Vikings, who are 4.5-point favorites. I'm not surprised there that the spread is as low as it is. It probably should be a little bit lower, just given the fact with how the Vikings have been playing as of late. It has not been very pretty football, and it's not because of due to offense. It's mostly because of defense. Their defense has been playing just like the Seahawks have been playing very bad lately. And they gave up a lot of. They've been giving up within the last several weeks of like 400 scrimmage yards. That's pretty bad. So you can't do that. You can't give up that many yardage to an opposing team. So their defense is definitely struggling, and they need a lot of help on that defense. The offense is still pretty solid. I think they can still do a lot of things. I think they can run the ball a little bit, maybe not as well as they used to, but they can still run the ball pretty well with Dalvin Cook if they really need to run the ball. They obviously they can pass the ball with Justin Jefferson. That's to Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. Those are like the two best receivers on this team. KJ Osborne is also a person that can really step up for this offense too. And then Kirk Cousins, when he has a lot of the time when he has time to throw the ball, is very successful with doing so. Vikings, they do really well offensively, and this is going to be a tough matchup for them to face the Colts, as the Colts defense is very solid. They're going to play coverage very well. I feel like they're also going to probably get some pressure on Kirk Cousins and company. So this will be a tough matchup for the Vikings. I think it will be one of the tougher defenses that they've been facing as of late. The only thing for the Colts that I do worry about a little bit, which they could probably have a little bit of some success on, is in terms of their offense. I think offensive line, they've been very bad all year. They have not protected Matt Ryan whatsoever in this offensive line, so I do not trust them to cover this game very well. I don't really typically trust them in protecting Matt Ryan. And Jonathan Taylor has had an up and down year. He's still very solid running back, very good running back. that you want to give the ball to. Still, obviously, he's still your main guy of this offense. So they could have some success with him. They could have some success with running the ball here, I believe. And if the offensive line can protect from Matt Ryan, they probably can get a little bit of offense going too. With Michael Pittman, might be able to make some big plays too. I think I like what I see from the tight ends as of late too. So I really want to see how they really do there too. And I also like what some of the rookie players have been doing, like Alec Pierce. I think has been, you know, pretty spotty as of late too. I think he's coming on around this kind of year, and it's the right time of the year to start coming on. So the Colts, I feel like this could be a good game for the Colts. I think this is an opportunity for them to, maybe try to, make a name for themselves, try to end the season on a positive note here. I don't believe they're making the playoffs. I think their season's pretty much shot at this point. So they don't really have a whole lot to be playing for left, as I think the Titans are going to win that division just by the skin of their teeth. But at the same time, I think this is a good matchup for them. I think they match up really well. I think offensively, the Colts could probably move the ball a little bit better than what they've had all year. But at the same time, though, too, the Vikings unit is still very good. Like offensively, I think they're still very good there. I think Justin Jefferson is a guy you've got to play good football with. You got to be able to really double cover him, triple cover him. You got to make sure that you get him, contained in this game, and not really let him get too crazy. So, a game that I believe could go either way. I believe it's a Saturday afternoon game, but Minnesota is a tough place to play. And it is a Saturday afternoon, so so it's gonna be kind of tough there to get going there. But I'm gonna go with the Vikings, though. I think I trust their offense way more than I trust the Colts offense. I don't know if I can take the spread. I think the spread might be a little bit high, in my opinion. So maybe the spread may not be the most ideal to take in this particular kind of a game. So maybe the spread could be a little bit lower. I think it will be a closer game than people think. I think it will be higher scoring because I think the Colts offense moves the ball a little bit. So, but I think this game will probably be like a 23-20 type of game. That's how the kind of game I'm looking at for this kind of a game. And then the Vikings somehow find a way to manage a last-second field goal here. So I think that's how it's going to end up here. I think the Vikings do win, but I think they just miss covering the spread. So it's a game I kind of would look into. Maybe I would take the Colts plus 4.5, but at the same time, too, it's a game that I'm not really worried about betting on too much. Maybe even look at the over-under and see what you could do there. All right, next game, we've got a divisional game. It's the Baltimore Ravens, who are going to Cleveland to play the Browns. The Browns are 2.5-point favorites here. So the quarterback situation for the Ravens, they just announced an hour or so ago that Tyler Huntley did pass concussion protocols. So Tyler Huntley might be playing in this game. He may not be. We don't really know yet because Anthony Brown could also play too. But no Lamar Jackson. We already know Lamar Jackson's probably going to be out for at least another week or two. But the Ravens, on the other hand, I think they're solid. I think defensively, I like how they've been playing defense as of late. I think Roquan Smith really had a good game last week against the Steelers and intercepting Mitchell Trubisky there. Patrick Queen will still be in the lineup, and he'll still do some really big things too. Corners are also playing better too, although at times they've been a little bit sluggish. But I think the defense is playing much better this time of year than they did in the beginning of the year. So I think the defense is probably going to give Deshaun Watson and the Browns some difficult times there, I believe. So that was my next point there with the Browns. The Browns are still kind of in a position to win. Some games left. They could still be in a position to make the playoffs, but I think last week's loss to the Bengals pretty much put them out of playoff contention looks. But nonetheless, though, what the Browns do well, and they run the ball very well, although they didn't do a good job with that last week against the Bengals. But they still run the ball pretty well. Watson still playing with a lot of rust. Another rough game for him last week with passing the ball. So it's probably going to be like until maybe the last game or two of the season for him to get the rhythm right. But I don't really trust what the Browns are doing right now. I don't trust the passing game to get going here with Deshaun Watson. I think it's just too little, too late here. I think the Ravens defense is going to get the best of the Browns here. If Watson was playing earlier in the year, in the season, it could be a different game. The Browns could be getting hot here, and I would pick the Browns to win. But with the Ravens and how they've been playing defensively, they're very good here. So it's a kind of a trickier game to really think about. And with no Lamar Jackson too, if Tyler Huntley does play in this game, I think he can put the Ravens in a position to win. But if Tyler Huntley does not win or play in this game, then the Browns probably could find a way, maybe to sneak a win in here. But I think just nonetheless with the Browns' problems right now, and with Watson not really getting any kind of relationship with, his receivers, yeah, I just think it's too little, too late here. So I'm gonna take the Ravens, and I would take them to cover the +2.5. That's what I would figure. I would take in that kind of a game because I feel like the Browns. I mean, yes, there are definitely opportunities for the Browns that they could take advantage of, specifically, offensively, and maybe they could take advantage of the Ravens' offense because they've not been so good as of late. But I don't know. I just don't trust Deshaun Watson right now. I think it's a too little, too late kind of situation for him. And with the Ravens' defense of how well they've been playing, and if they can continue to play like they've had the last couple of weeks, then they can definitely win this game. So, Ravens, straight up, Ravens +2.5. Sorry. All right, next game you've got the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills spread, surprisingly to me, is 7. But guess what? I'm going to take the 7. I will take the Bills to win the straight up. Now, the Dolphins. Let's talk about the Dolphins. Are they a team that could still make their way to the playoffs? Yes, I believe they could still make the playoffs. I do believe that 100%. But the Dolphins' issues were very evident of what we saw on Sunday night. And those issues were if you just play a little bit of man coverage here, and you take out Tyreek Hill and you take out Jalen Waddle, you win a game. You win the game easily because of what the run game does for the Dolphins. Does absolutely nothing for them, and does not help their cause. And defensively too, the only kind of pressure that the Dolphins can get on anybody really is blitzing, and they're not going to be able to successfully do that in Buffalo against the Bills. The Bills, I have my questions about the Bills. I have my questions about them within the last several weeks, no question about it. But I just think they're the better team. I think they're the better team. They have the better home field advantage here. And with the weather, the crappy weather that's been as of lately, you know, I, this is going to be tough for Miami to really play in that kind of conditions. Like with Buffalo, they don't play typically well in Miami because of the heat. And Miami's not going to play well in this kind of, weather conditions because of the coldness and because of the windiness and, the snow that's starting to come. So, that's why I take Buffalo. That's why I take them confidently. And that's why I take them to cover the spread. So let's go Buffalo. Let's go Josh Allen. That's what I want to see. So go ahead, Bills. You'll win this game, and you can definitely cover the 7. Next game is the Philadelphia Eagles at the Chicago Bears. The Eagles are 9-point favorites. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about this game. I'm taking the Eagles to win this game. Okay, the Eagles right now, they flat out took it to the Giants last week. They ran absolutely all over them. Wasn't even a close game to begin with. It was pretty much over at halftime. The Eagles can do a whole lot of things. They can beat you in any given way. They can beat you with running the ball. They can beat you with passing the ball. They can beat you on defense if their defense shows up one day. And they can beat you on special teams. There's a lot of ways that the Eagles can beat you. The Bears, what do they have? Justin Fields, who's really not a good passer. David Montgomery, a good running back, but not great. Khalil Herbert, probably a slightly better version of David Montgomery, a faster version of David Montgomery. Defensively, who else do they have? They don't have Roquan Smith. They don't have Khalil Mack. They don't have Robert Quinn. They have absolutely nobody on that defense anymore except for Eddie Jackson. And he's not even that good anymore. There's nothing left for this Bears team that scares anybody. So, and the Eagles will definitely take it to them. So I will take the Eagles. And the last several weeks, they've been covering the spreads quite well. So it wouldn't be too much of lunacy to take the 9 points here for the Eagles. Would not be the craziest thing in the world. Hold on one second. All right, next. You've got probably one of the toughest games to really figure out of the week. And two teams that desperately need this week. The Detroit Lions at the New York Jets. So, I am a little bit surprised that the Lions are favored in this game. Slightly favored by 1 point. I am a little bit surprised about that. Detroit, as of late, yes, they've been playing really good football as of late. Not great, but they've been playing really good football as of late, offensively. And I have to say, defensively, they have not been that bad either. Especially, they have not been that run when it comes to stopping the run. And Aiden Hutchinson is starting to become worth the first round pick for this team. He's been doing pretty well. Not gonna lie there. And they've been doing well with stopping the run. That kind of gives a little bit of problems too for this team. So that's something really cool to look at here. Offensively, they're still trying to really find their niche as far as like what they're good at. Well, we already know what they're good at. They're good at play action passes. That's exactly what Jared Goff does well, and he does well with play action passes. He does really well with getting outside of the pocket, making plays to Amon-Ra St. Brown, and he does a really good job there. And then they do a pretty good job with running the ball too to Williams. And they do a good job, too, with, just about really anything. The only thing they kind of struggle with a little bit, which I am a little bit concerned about, especially knowing with the way that Mike White plays, he kind of plays similar to Jared Goff. He likes to run outside of the pocket. He likes to get his receivers open and, down the field and everything when he's outside of the pocket. So that will be something very similar to see. So both of these teams, in a way, are very similar. But I believe this is probably going to be one of the toughest matchups that the Lions have faced probably this season because of that Jets defense. Their defense, man, is just so good. It's so hard to do anything with them. Just ask Josh Allen. I know Josh Allen and the Bills beat them, but they even struggled to beat them too. They didn't run away with that game with Stephon Diggs having over 200 yards, reception yards for 4 touchdowns. And Josh Allen didn't run for a bajillion, rushing yards. This was a tough Jets defense, guys. It really is. They're good from defensive line to corners of Sauce Gardner. They're good with Quentin Williams. That's what really makes this team even look even better is with Quentin Williams. If they can get a pass rush going in, and once they get a pass rush going in, it's very hard to escape that. And they can stop the run very well. There's a lot of things that the Jets defense can do really well with. As far as offensively goes, I think making the decision from Zach Wilson to Mike White does make things a little bit better. I think I do like that. And there was nothing ever with me, having anything wrong with Mike White. He's not my favorite player for this team. He's not I'm not the biggest fan of Mike White. But what he does better with versus what Zach Wilson was doing is he does make better throws. I think he has more time to adjust a little bit to the offense. I think he does a better job with that. I think he does a better job with just finding open players down the field. I think his mechanics are better. And I think he has better foot movement. And if he has to throw off the back foot, I think he does better with that too. So, that's something there too. I think that was a good decision by Coach Saleh to allow that to happen. Now, as far as, that is concerned, that's the only thing I would probably concern about is like how consistent is this offense? How can they get this game going? How can they get the ball rolling here a little bit? That's the only thing I'm concerned about. How are they going to do against the Alliance defense that's not great, but how are they going to do with running the ball? That's the only thing I'm kind of concerned about a little bit because they have been playing well there as of late. So I'm a little concerned about that. But I think the Jets have a good opportunity to win here. I think they're going to take advantage of this opportunity because of Jared Goff and his struggles in cold weather like this. Now, if the weather is like, cold on Sunday, which is very likely it's going to be very cold, a little bit windy, poor weather conditions, this is where Jared Goff struggles in the most. And he's not playing in his dome, so that's going to make things rather difficult for him to do. Although he's been doing well with it lately, he played in tough weather conditions when he played against the Giants. I thought he played really well there. And a couple other games too where there was tough weather conditions. I thought he's been handling the weather situation well, and he's been doing well with handling things under pressure. He hasn't been as insanely under pressure as he's been in years past, and even if he has been handling it a lot better. So that's something really good to look at too. But there's a lot of things I like. There's a lot of things I like about the Lions, but there's also a lot of things I like about that Jets defense too. And I think it's going to be intriguing to really see how Jared Goff is going to handle the pressure with the Jets here. And like I said, this is like a get-right game for both teams. This is like a game where they desperately have to win this game. And if neither one of these teams, or if one of these teams don't win, is probably going to make their chances of the playoffs very slim. So it's a tough game. It really is a tough game that's going to come down to the wire. It's like dead even between these both teams. We have one opposing really good offense and one opposing really good defense that's facing with each other. It's a really tough game. It really, really is a tough game, but I like this game a lot. My honest opinion, I think the Lions probably could get this game. As much as I like the Jets defense, I just like the Lions. I have a gutty feeling that there's something in me that tells me that Detroit will find a way to win this game. I'm just throwing it out there. I would not be shocked at all if the Jets win. I would not even care if the Jets win either. I would not be upset with either one of these two teams winning. If I was wrong about this game, I don't care. But I just have that gutty feeling that the Lions might win this game. And the Lions will very likely cover this game. So I'm going to go with Detroit. I think it's a good position for Detroit to win this game, keep their playoff chances alive. But hold everything, the Jets could still make the playoffs too if the Patriots or the Chargers lose this coming weekend too. So, but I'm going to take the Lions. I think the Lions are the better offense, and I think they find a way to get it going. I really do. So I'll take the Lions to win that game there. All right, next game, you've got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Carolina Panthers, who are 2.5-point favorites here. The Panthers are coming alive here. The Panthers are coming alive. A season that I thought was not going to be pretty for the Panthers for the way it started. It did not look like it was going to be pretty. I thought they were going to be picking at least, top 2 pick this year. But they're turning their season around. They're turning this season around. And they're also in a position to win the division, too. The NFC South division. They're putting themselves in a position to win a division. Which would be something very interesting to see them do. Especially that no one, including myself, no one ever thought that this would have happened. But they're 2.5-point favorites here. Now, let's look at the Pittsburgh Steelers here. Pittsburgh Steelers defense is still very good. They'll still have their game. They'll still have their moments here. But I think the difficult of the matter here, the question is going to be more of, is Kenny Pickett going to be playing in this game? We saw last week Kenny Pickett get out of the game. That was not very pretty. That was not very pretty at all to see. Um, with him getting out and Mitchell Trubisky going in, and it was not very pretty for Mitch Trubisky to go in there and play the game that he did, throwing 3 interceptions. That was very, very, very ugly to see. So, um, a game that I feel like is, not so much for the Steelers. I don't believe the Steelers really have anything to really play here at this point. I don't think they're going to um, make. I don't believe the Steelers are going to make the playoffs here. I think they're pretty much done at this point in the season. Um, so I don't really think they really have much to play for. I don't think they really need to really risk the amount of injuries for the Steelers at this point in the season, knowing that they're not going to make the playoffs here. And knowing with the Panthers, they're going to try to play their hearts out for the remaining of the season because Tampa Bay is not playing well. They're leading the division, but they're not playing well. This opens the doors for the Panthers, the Saints, which I don't think the Saints are going to do anything, and the Falcons, who probably could be alive. But the Panthers right now are the better team in the South with Sam Darnold. They haven't had to ask Sam Darnold to do a whole lot. And when he's come in clutch at times with some good plays there. But mainly it was because of their run game. I think the running game with Deontay Foreman and, Chuba Hubbard, or however you say his name, Hubbard, the running back duo, it's pretty solid for the Panthers. It really is. It's really solid for them. So I'm going to take the Panthers to win. I think the Panthers desperately need this win. I think they get it here. I think they're going to put themselves in a position to close in on the NFC South title. As far as the spread goes, 2.5, maybe a little bit much, but it wouldn't be surprising if they did take the 2.5. So I personally would take it, or I would take the Steelers plus 2.5. But I'm leaning more towards Carolina. I just trust Carolina right now to make the right decision here. But the Steelers could very well likely win this game, though, too. Even without Kenny Pickett, they could very well likely find a way to win this game, too if Sam Darnold makes all the bad decisions, which we know Sam Darnold is very prone to turning the ball over quite often. So, but I trust the Panthers. I trust Steve Wilkes, the interim coach. I trust what he's got going here. I trust him with running the ball and limiting Darnold from really doing much of anything. So I'll take the Panthers to win. I'll take them to cover the spread. I kind of like the story that the Panthers are having right now, and I would like to see that continue. All right, next, you've got the Kansas City Chiefs, who are 14-point favorites to the Texans. All right, let me just talk about this real quick. I will take the Chiefs to win the straight up. But I am not going to take 14 points again for the Chiefs, and I'll tell you why. Okay, the Chiefs were 9.5-point favorites last week to the Broncos. Okay, they should have easily ran away with that game. They were up 27-0 at halftime. And then what happened? Patrick Mahomes started playing bad football. He was making no-look passes. He was being very stupid with the football. He threw 3 picks, and he almost lost the game for his team. It was just as simple as that. He somehow found a way to help this Broncos offense out, and this Broncos offense has been absolutely trash the entire year. And they put up the most points that they put up all season long of 28. I think the Texans will score points on the Chiefs' defense. I think anybody right now could probably score an insane amount of points on the Chiefs' defense, but the Chiefs will still find ways to win games. I do not trust them to cover the spread. I will not take the Chiefs 14. I will take them to win the straight up, but I am not going to take them minus 14. Now, the Texans were 16.5-point underdogs last week to the Cowboys, but they only ended up losing by 4. And surprisingly enough for me, they actually put up a good fight against the Cowboys. Especially they put up a good a good offensive performance facing one of the best, if not the best, pass rush in the NFL this year is what surprises me about this Texans team. That's very, very low. So that's why I'm saying this offense of the Texans can probably get going. I think Dameon Pierce probably could get some games, get some touchdowns and probably get some ground game going here. I think he'll run the ball very well here. The only thing the Chiefs can really do well with is Chris Jones getting sacks and pressuring the quarterback. That's pretty much how the Chiefs defense will have success. Other than that, they can do whatever they want on them. So I'll take the Chiefs. I'll take the Chiefs to win the straight up. But yes, the 14 points for the Chiefs is going to be way too much to ask for, especially with the way they almost lost to the Broncos last week. All right, next game. You've got a divisional game here between the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are favored by 4.5. I understand why they are favored by 4.5. I'm going to make up my own assumption here. Don't get me wrong. But they're probably favored because of Desmond Ridder, who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Falcons this week over Marcus Mariota. And guys, I'm just going to say this right now. I saw articles this week about Marcus Mariota leaving the team because he was benched and all this other crazy nonsense. Can we please stop with that? Can we please stop making unnecessary drama that's not needed right now? Marcus Mariota did not leave the team. He's preparing for what they say is going to be another season-ending surgery. Okay. Okay, that's perfectly something that Marcus Mariota would do, okay? He would not leave the team. We need to stop with this unnecessary drama and untrue facts. Because it's certainly absurd to just start making rumors up like this. We got to stop with that, okay? So Desmond Ridder is the starting quarterback for the Falcons now moving forward. Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. Is Desmond Ridder any better than Marcus Mariota? I have no idea. From preseason, from what I did see, I didn't think there was really much separating between him and Mariota. I get where the Falcons are going. They want to try to make a spark here. They want to try to win the division, possibly make a playoff run here. I get that. I mean, they won't make anywhere past the wild card. No question about that. But I understand where they're coming from. But I don't feel there's anything different between him and Mariota. I really don't see the difference between the two. But I'll see. We'll give it a try. He might do better. He might perform better under this offense. I hope that, he's successful. I hope he has some success. I hope the coaching staff puts him in a good position to win and all this other stuff. So I get it. It's already the end of the year. Their playoff chances are slimming down. So they want to try to make a spark here at the slate of the season. I get that. That's perfectly fine and understandable where they are at. Okay, but the Saints, on the other hand, the Saints are trying to find an identity, and I don't think they're going to find that this year. They have not been able to find it all season long. Okay, their defense is still good, but the defense does not play anywhere near the level of what they were the last couple of years, especially last year. That defense was very solid. Offensively, Alvin Kamara, I have no idea where Alvin Kamara is, but he is not playing football. He's not on this universe of playing football anymore. He's not an alien. I have no idea how to even describe Alvin Kamara. He just looks absolutely positively, don't want to say washed, but he looks completely lost. Andy Dalton, he's so up and down all the time. Some weeks I really like him and really puts a lot of, hope and motivation in this offense. Then other weeks he turns the ball over way too much and they don't score any points whatsoever. There's a lot of things about the Saints that I like, but they can't seem to get that figured out. They can't figure out if they're a run-first team. They can't figure out if they're a passing team. They can't figure out if their identity comes from their defense or their special teams. Whatever it is, they can't find their identity yet. This team is a mess right now. And for them to actually win 4 games this year, for me, is a little bit surprising that they've won this many games. and has been hanging around for as long as they've been this whole season. But they're still not, they can't figure out who they are. They can't figure out their identity. And that's going to make things very difficult here. The Falcons have an idea of who they are. They run the ball very well, so they're going to stick with running the ball. And they know they're very successful with it. At times with defensively, at times they can cover, at times they can get some good pass rush in, at times, but not all the time. But I'm going to take the Falcons to win. But I'm going to take the Saints at 4.5. I will take the points with the Saints, but I'm going to call for the Falcons to win the game. Why? Because I think the last time the Falcons should have won the game, they were up by a couple of scores, and they ended up losing on a last-second field goal. So the last time I feel like the Falcons should have won the game, I think they get that revenge, and they will win this time against the Saints in the Dome here in New Orleans. So I will take the Falcons, but I will take the Saints at 4.5 here just to play it safe. All right, next you've got the Dallas Cowboys. 4.5-point favorites to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm taking the Cowboys to win the game. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. The Jaguars, I like them. I like some of the talent that they have, but the Jaguars are just so inconsistent. They're so disorganized right now. They can't figure out where their identity is. They're just like the Saints. They can't figure out if they're going to be good offensively. They can't figure out if they're good at running the ball, which we know they have been very successful with running the ball this year. They don't know if Trevor Lawrence is the star of the show. They have no idea if any of their receivers are the star of the show, which I don't think they really are. They don't know. They just don't know. They don't know what their identity is right now. This team is so up and down all the time. And it's surprising that they're still, like, winning games. It's still surprising that they're hanging around as long as they are to not only the playoffs, but they're still hanging around with a lot of these teams that they've been toe-to-toe with this year. All that, to me, is very surprising. Very surprising to me. The Cowboys, yes, they struggled against the Texans. I have no, qualms about that whatsoever. They struggled against the Texans, very badly. And I think that's something that the Cowboys should be concerned about. That should be something that really gets them fired up here in this game here. They know they should be able to study up film. They know what Jacksonville is like. They know Jacksonville is a very inconsistent team. They know Jacksonville can win games at times. They can beat you at times. But they should be able to take advantage of their defense too. Their defense is, up and down a lot too. They're very disorganized there too. They got the talent, but they're not there where they're supposed to be. And the Cowboys pass rush, the Cowboys defense as a whole is very good. That's going to get Trevor Lawrence a lot of problems. So I'm taking the Cowboys to win in Jacksonville. I take them as the 4.5-point favorites in this game because I can't trust Jacksonville to win a game like this. At times I have taken Jacksonville to win these games. Like they've beaten some good teams this year. They've beaten the Chargers. They've beaten the Ravens. They've beaten the Titans. They've beaten some good teams, but but the Cowboys are a different story, and I don't think they have it in them to be able to beat the Cowboys. Maybe in a couple of years, if they ever meet each other in a Super Bowl, if Trevor Lawrence kind of gets this team get this team going, but no, not right now though. Just not now. So Cowboys will win that game. All right, another confusing game, another game I really don't really want to spend a lot of time talk about is the Arizona Cardinals at the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are 3-point favorites. The Broncos could be without Russell Wilson. I don't know. Russell Wilson was taken out last week due to a concussion. It looked like a pretty critical concussion there. So there's still no word as far as whether or not he's going to be playing. It's probably going to be like a day-to-day basis. But there's no way this Broncos team is going to win with Brett Rippon. Now, the Cardinals are also losing their starting quarterback, especially for the rest of the year, in Kyler Murray. So Colt McCoy is going to be starting in this game. I like Colt McCoy. I think he looked pretty good against the Patriots last week. They just had, the Cardinals are just not a very good team, and they let that game slip away from them very, very easily. But I like what he does. I feel like this year with Colt McCoy, he has played some better games than Kyler Murray has. I think he has a better leadership than Murray does. And he looks more sharper. He looks more intact with this offensive playbook than Kyler Murray does. So, that's something to really be said there. But I think Colt McCoy is better than Brett Rippon. There's no question about that. I just don't trust this Broncos offense. I really don't. I think defensively, they could give him problems there, but they could stop the run. They probably could stop James Conner running the ball, so they could probably limit the amount of times they could run and pass the ball. That's really all the Broncos can do. But they can't score. And for them to score 28 points last week against a very, very bad uh, Chiefs defense was just, an absolute fluke. Um, but I'm going to take the Cardinals. I can't take the Broncos. I really can't. I just can't watch this Broncos team anymore. They need to put the Broncos out of its misery for the year. They're just so bad offensively. I can't. I just cannot watch the Broncos anymore. I'll take the Cardinals to win. I'll take the Cardinals plus 3-2. Why not? But I cannot take the Broncos anymore. I am not taking the Broncos to win. I'm not betting on the Broncos for the rest of the year. All right, next game. The New England Patriots at the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are favored by 1. I'm a little bit surprised, just like with a couple of games this week. I'm a little bit surprised that the Raiders are actually favored in this game because of the way that the Raiders played last week against the Rams. I thought this was going to be more like a Patriots kind of a favorite game by Vegas. So the Raiders are favored by 1 point here. The Patriots played pretty good last week against the Cardinals. Not going to lie. I thought they looked pretty good. I think Mac Jones had a pretty good game here. He had a nice, solid game. But they make no adjustments to the offense whatsoever. They still do run up the middle, run to the outside, make a short pass for a third down conversion. And if they don't make it, they punt. There's still a lot of questions about the Patriots offense. Their offense is still not very good. They're still not a very good offense. Devontae Parker in this game, he was taken out of the Cardinals game last week, so I'm not quite sure if he's going to be playing. I don't know if Ramondre Stevenson is playing in this game too. He was also taken out last week. There's a lot of key players on both sides of the ball, on both teams last week that were taken out early in the game. So, but the Raiders are also having their problems too. They looked like they were, this is like their last chance for them to make the playoffs. I mean, last week they looked like they were going to run out there with a dumpster on fire, and score a lot of points on the Rams, but they just absolutely choked that game away and they lost the game, 17-16. They let Baker Mayfield have a 98-yard drive. And with this Raiders defense, besides Max Crosby, that's really good. Chandler Jones is absolutely washed. He has not done anything for this team. I think that was a waste of a pick for them this year. I can't trust the Raiders defense. I really can't. But the Patriots offense is not that good either. But I trust Bill Belichick. And I like Josh McDaniels a lot. I think he's going to have a lot of success with the Raiders in the future. But I'm going to take the Patriots to win this game. I'm sorry. I'm taking the Patriots to win. I just can't bet against the Patriots here. I think Bill Belichick knows exactly how to slow down a Josh McDaniels format of an offense. I think he knows exactly what he needs to do there. And I don't think that McDaniels can beat this Patriots defense. I think I think Bill Belichick is going to probably have a lot of success with, with Mac Jones. He'll probably have some success with passing the ball a little bit too. Jacoby Myers, I don't know if Jacoby Myers is going to be playing in this game or not. If they can protect Mac Jones from Max Crosby, they can probably win this game. If they take Max Crosby out of the game, they'll win this game. But if they don't, could be a long night, could be a close game. The Raiders could win. But I'm taking the Patriots. I trust Bill Belichick to come up with the best defense that he possibly can with Matthew Judon. Jack Jones. You know, they've got good corners. They got a good D line. There's a lot of things about the Patriots defense that's good. That's going to probably give Derek Carr and company some problems there. So I will take the Patriots, and I will probably take the Raiders one. I will probably take the Raiders spread, but the Patriots win the straight up. Or if anything, guys, if you want to look at the money line too, maybe look at the money line and see what they've got there. But I'm taking the Patriots to win the straight up. All right, we got a few more games left. Next, we've got the Tennessee Titans at the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are favored by 3. I don't like what the Titans have been doing lately. They have not been playing good lately on either side, to be quite honest with you. I think that's a bit of a concern now for the Titans, and I think it's a concern for their season too. Could make their season come out on the line too. Um, I'm going with the Chargers. I'm taking the Chargers to win this game. I think it will be an offensive shootout. I think there's good things that can come out of this game. I think having Mike Williams for Justin Herbert and Austin Eckler, I think is going to put a lot of damper for the Titans defense. It's probably going to be very, very tough for them to slow down that kind of an offense for from the Chargers there for Tennessee. I think it will be tough there, especially with passing the ball and especially with Mike Williams. Now that Mike Williams is very healthy and he's ready to go, that's going to be hard for them to slow down Mike Williams and company. That's going to be very hard for them to do. And they know that Justin Herbert is an absolute slinger. He can sling the ball down the field in any given way. And even with most of the year without not having like his 2 top receivers, the guy still has some pretty solid numbers. The guy can still make things happen. He can make magic happen. Probably not on the winning end of things, but you still got to find ways to be able to beat the Chargers, and it's not always that easy for teams to beat them. And especially with the struggling Titans defense, that's still, on paper they're good, but they're struggling as of late, and they struggle especially against the pass. They don't have the secondary that's going to be able to stop Mike Williams. That's where they really struggle with. And then with the other side of the ball here, you're looking at the Titans offense, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry could probably have a good game. He probably could score a couple of touchdowns and get some things going for this offense, which the Chargers defense is not very good, but I think they'll play good coverage. But that's about it. So, but I like the Chargers' chances here of winning. I think it puts them in a pretty good position here to maybe even make the playoffs. So that's why I'm going with the Chargers. I'll take the Chargers to win, but the Titans +3 because I think there's a good chance the Titans could pull out an upset, but I like the Chargers to win the straight up. Next game here, probably one of the games of the week, or in my personal opinion, probably, would have been earlier in the year, but right now at this point, probably not. The Cincinnati Bengals, who are 3.5-point favorites to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are playing in Tampa Bay, Florida. The Bengals, what else can I say about the Bengals, guys? They've got everything that you need right now. They've got all the receivers in the world that they need. T. Higgins is the only question mark. Even without T. Higgins, you still got Tyler Boyd, who can probably make a big impact in this game. Where you've got Chris Evans that probably can do something here too. For this offense too, that might be suiting up a little bit too to get some some offensive things going on here. They got Joe Mixon and Samaje Perine, which are very good running backs here. Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, obviously, you put him in that mix right there. He's outstanding. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. No question about it. Defensively, I know some teams had some questions about them. I know some people did, including myself a little bit. But this defense is exactly the defense that we saw last year in the Super Bowl and most of the postseason. It's going to be very hard for Tom Brady to do anything on this Bengals defense that's playing good. And outside of Tom Brady, like, who else do they got? Mike Evans is not Mike Evans. He's just not playing like Mike Evans. Chris Godwin's his only guy that he can turn to, a healthy Chris Godwin. Leonard Fournette, he's not very healthy right now. He's declining a little bit. Rashad White gets some. He can get some get open here and there. They don't have a consistent. They don't have a consistent tight end. Offensive line stinks. Defense is the only thing that's good for the Bucks, but they're also beat up there too with Tristan Wirfs being out for the rest of the year, probably. Secondary is a little bit lacking too. Yeah, I mean the Bucks have their problems, and there's not that many holes with the Bengals besides maybe offensive line's the only thing, but they have not been playing all that bad as of late. But I'm taking the Bengals. I'm sorry, I'm taking the Bengals. This is probably one of the first of very few times this year where I picked against Tom Brady and bet against Tom Brady, but I'm gonna do it. I'm going to do it. The Bengals are just a very good team right now. They're playing very hot. They're playing their best football right now. And this is a team that probably could be poised to make another Super Bowl run here and possibly even win it too. I think they've got all the key things of what they need as a team to win a Super Bowl. I think they've got the receivers, they've got the quarterback, they've got the defense that can do it. There's a lot of things I like about the Bengals. A lot of things I like about the Bengals that's going to be very hard for a lot of teams to get figured out. But so I'm taking the Bengals to win. I take the Bengals to cover the spread of 3.5, and I just take my man Joe Burrow to have a good game. I really do. I take him to have a really good game here, with or without T. Higgins. All right, next game. You've got Sunday Night Football. 2 more games left. You got Sunday Night Football. You've got the New York G-Men, or as some people refer them, like myself, as the New York Giants and the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders are 4.5-point favorites. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about it. The Giants stink right now. I'm sorry to say it. As a Giants fan like myself and Giants fans out there, I apologize, but the Giants stink right now. They're very disappointing. They're not. I would not be shocked if they missed the playoffs at this point in the season. They're just so beat up on both sides of the ball. They have no depth. They have no motivation to really do anything anymore. And last week's loss against the Eagles was just utterly embarrassing. They're not going anywhere. The Commanders are the opposite. They're playing hot. Taylor Heineke is getting good play time here. He does whatever he has to do to win a game. He gets it going here. I'm taking the Commanders here. I'm taking the Commanders to cover the spread at 4.5. I think they're going to push themselves for a late playoff run here, and they're really the only team in the NFC that probably could beat the Eagles right now. I think they're one of the only very few teams that probably could knock off the Eagles and possibly beat the Vikings and so on and so forth. They could probably make a deep run here. So I'm going with the Commanders. I'm taking the Commanders, and I'm taking them to cover the spread. And then last game, you've got Monday Night Football with the Los Angeles Rams at the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are favored by 6.5 points. The Rams, Baker Mayfield will still be there. No surprise there. I think last week was more of a fluke. I don't think they're going to be able to pull that kind of a stunt off again in Lambeau Field. I know the Packers have struggled a lot this year. I get that. But I feel like now they're finally trying to figure out, I think they finally have figured out who their number one receiver is, especially in the red zone. Like Christian Watson, I think they're getting that figured out. Defensively, they're not very good. But Jair Alexander and Kenny Clark, some good defensive players that I think will have a good game against the Rams. That's what I really think about this. So I'm taking the Packers to win. I'm taking them to cover the 6.5 points. This game is nowhere near where most people thought it was going to be this year. Everybody would have thought it would have probably been like a Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers showdown of 2 of them slinging the ball down the field, making big plays here. Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, maybe. Or Christian Watson probably would have been like the big star here. But I'll take the Packers to win. But I'm not going to take the spread, though. I'm going to pass on betting on this game because it could be a closer game than people think. I think they've been playing. The Rams are not very good. I will admit that right now. They are not very good. But when they have had played good games, they played a good game against the Seahawks. They almost came back. They probably should have won that game. And they came back and beat the Raiders. They could keep this game a close one in Lambeau. But I think Lambeau wins the game. So just want to keep that in mind. And with all that being said, everybody, that is all of my Week 15 picks for this week. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Be sure to drop a like on this video. Be sure to also hit that subscribe button as well, guys. Listen, I need more subscribers. I need more of your help to help build this YouTube channel, to help build this podcast up. I want to make it better. I want to be able to spread the word out to everybody. I want more viewers. I want more people to watch. I know it will all come in time, but if you guys help me out and do all the things that I need for you to do to help spread the word out, all will be good. So please, like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. All that being said, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Really means a lot. We will see you all next time when I do my Week 15 recap and reaction video. This is your boy, JP Football Fanatics, saying peace.